Alright, so welcome to the last part of the Practicing Magic series. So if you don't already know, I made like 2 other videos on how you practice magic and the theory behind it and why I don't prefer like some over the other. But anyways, this is the theory that I use to practice. This is how I legitimately practice sleight of hand, how I practice magic, right? So without further ado, let's get right into the theory itself. Alright. So how do you usually practice? Do you practice while watching a YouTube video? I also do that, but let's just ignore that for the sake of the video, alright? Or do you practice nonchalantly while working on something else, like homework, or like, I don't know, writing an essay? That's homework too, I guess. But that's called naive practicing. That's how you work on something for years and still not be able to attain something. That's, or not be happy with the progress that you've made. And that's where deliberate practice actually comes into play. So deliberate practice is a form of practicing that focuses a lot more on the quality of practice rather than the quantity. So naive practicing is where you can nonchalantly practice something for like years and years and years, but still not improve because the quality is not that good. So deliberate practice is where you actually put your mind to actually improving and not just mindlessly practice like with naive practicing, right? So you have to actively put your mind into noticing what's wrong and what to improve. So you have to write notes, you have to think about what's wrong, you have to think about how to improve. But you can't just do that like on a whim. You have to have 3 criteria to actually do deliberate practicing correctly. So the first criteria is you have to set a schedule. You have to set a proper schedule. So rather than just practicing magic as an afterthought to what you're like currently doing, you have to set aside some time. So you have to set aside some time every day for like an hour or so and just practice. And this schedule has to be consistent. You can't just practice things like once a week and expect things to like drastically improve. So one of the things that I actually did for riffle stacking and for table work in general for for 2 years, I think I actually just practiced like 1 hour every single day. And that's actually how I got like my riffle stacking to be like somewhat acceptable. Yeah, like I know riffle stacking takes a lot more to be perfect, but you know, it's not bad. I would say the progress I've made in about 2 years. So yeah. The other thing that you have to do is that you have to set a goal. You can't just mindlessly practice with no specific goal in mind. You have to set goals every single time that you practice. So again, I'm going to take my riffle stacking example again. So for example, I want to be able to stack 2 cards consistently by the end of this practice session, right? Because now you're actually motivated to attain something by the end of your practice session. If you don't have a goal, you're just going to run into the same problem of mindlessly practicing because you don't know what to work towards. But now you have a proper set of motivations to actually like practice, right? And then the final criteria for deliberate practice is just get feedback immediately. So get someone who's real with you, someone who can point up the flaws for you. Like send someone a video of you practice. Send a video of you practicing to a friend. There we go. That's proper English. Or just live stream your practice sessions. That's how you get to know what to work. That's how. Okay, I can't English. That's how you know what else to work on your next practice session, right? Because if you're like, oh yeah, that's good. You know, I don't need to practice that anymore next time. You might. Well, first off, you're probably biased because you're like, oh yeah, I worked on an entire hour on this. It's good, right? But if you have feedback, then you're gonna be like, no, you have to practice that a bit more next time, and then that's how you have like, you know, that's how you get an unbiased point of view for whether or not you actually attain your goal or not. And those are the 3 criteria for how to deliberate practice. So you have to schedule like your practice sessions. You have to practice them consistently. You have to set goals in mind, and you have to get feedback quite immediately, just so then you get an unbiased point of view as to like when what you can improve and what you can do for the next practice session as well. And again, you have to practice with the goal of improving in mind. So you have to actually put all your attention into practicing. You can't just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do something else while I'm working on this. No, you have to set 1 hour aside to actually put in the work, right? So nothing, no phones, no nothing, just riffle stack, just bottom deal, just do double lifts. And that's how you actually improve. That's how you do deliberate practice. And that's, for the longest time, that's actually what I did, and that's how I actually improved really fast. But you know, adult life, and I can't really do that all that much anymore, but still sometimes I still do. So yeah, that's nice. And that's deliberate practice. So you'll notice that you can actually combine these with desirable difficulties, and you can actually just like, I don't know, min-max your practice sessions. I don't know if that's a term people still use, but anyways, so you can also apply this to other things in life. So just as a fun fact, the studies that actually form the modern like deliberate practice actually come from studies done in like sports, in chess, and just other competitive activities. So realistically, you can apply this to just anything in life, right? That's like skill or technical, all right? But yeah, that's the deliberate practice. It's again, it's a method that I actually use to practice magic as well. So yeah, I do genuinely hope that this practice series actually helped you. And yeah, just put your mind to practicing, and you'll notice just how fast that you actually improve. But that's about it for this. Yeah, see you guys next time. Stay safe and stay healthy, and yeah.